This video is brought to you by...
What's up, kings and queens? It's your girl, Charlotte Moore. As always, we give thanks for another day, you dig? So as the CEO and founder of Motivational More, we take pride in working with incredible creative entrepreneurs. And today, we are shooting a campaign for cool green clothing founded by the one and only AC Green. So the vibrational energy of this line is all about street vibes, a growth mindset, hustle. So today, we are highlighting this, guys, the Baltimore Cool Green Snapback. How cute is this? Look at this. So we're going to have so much fun on the shoot. And I'm telling you, follow cool green clothing. It's so important for us to support our entrepreneurs. There's so much talent in Baltimore. And as a creative entrepreneur myself, I know how hard it is. And I love to see just people going out there and going for their dreams. So let's get it. Bless up.
What is going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end and hear the full story and all the details in the case. For all the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. Walking away from a situation, does that make you a sucker? For some reason in our culture, that's not the tough thing to do, or not considered being real. To either live to see another day, or make it home to your family without catching a charge. Mindset is everything. In certain situations, knowing when to hold and when to fold. Quick story. I remember being on parole and probation, backing up 15 years if I got in any trouble. And the first thing I did was buy a .38 revolver when I came home on the box from my neighbor. Being stupid. I wasn't beefing with nobody or nothing. But in my mind, I felt as though I wasn't being prepared if I didn't have a burner. But prepared for what? Wasn't nothing going on. And unfortunately, that's the mindset of most of us coming up in certain environments. Eventually, I came to my senses when my mans told me I was geeking. And I sold it to my other homie who had real issues going on. That kind of mentality is deadly and a one-way ticket to either prison or the grave. Fortunately, I was able to understand being tough or having a blick doesn't make you a man. But some people never had a chance to figure that out and act off emotions or impulse, letting a split-second decision change their life or end up with them taking a life. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we will be discussing a case involving two men who didn't even know each other in an encounter that turned into a fatal situation, with one of them getting life in prison. According to sources, back in 2020, a 22-year-old man named Ronald Haskins was on Brown Highway, not too far from O'Donnell Heights in South East Baltimore, when in broad daylight, shots went off, and the man was hit multiple times. People in the neighborhood called BPD, who responded to the 1400 block of Brown Highway on January 11th around 2:30 p.m. to find a man suffering from gunshot wounds. He was quickly rushed to a local hospital where unfortunately he did not survive. The victim was later identified as 38-year-old Richard Pearson. As an investigation started, some people in the neighborhood said it was some kind of argument or altercation that led to the shooting, but no one knew what happened exactly. Police realized it was city-wide surveillance cameras in the area. They looked at it and it showed a man wearing a dark green coat in the footage. And after watching, BPD felt as though that was their shooter. That weekend in the city, it was hectic, with 12 people being shot, with 5 of the shootings being fatal. More information would come out as the community talked to police and gave them a lead on a man named Ronald Haskins. BPD would put out a warrant for the man and also searched his Middle River home, where allegedly they found a blick and articles of clothing that seemed to match the suspect's clothing in a surveillance video. Ronald was taken into custody, but quickly told police he doesn't know anything about a hit and didn't know who Richard was. When asked why people were saying his name, the man responded He did not know. At this point, even though it wasn't a lot of evidence, Ronald was charged with murder and handgun violations and transported to central bookings. It was only a few days after the hit on Richard. While in custody, BPD were looking for more evidence connecting Ronald to the situation, when allegedly they received 2 jail call recordings where Ronald was talking to his sister, who was locked up at the time, before he was charged. He allegedly told her what led up to the situation, stating he had a dispute with some people in the area off Boston Street, and it got heated to the point he pulled out a blick. He then told his sister a man he never seen before, referring to Richard, walked up to him and tried to slap the gun out his hand. That's when he shot the man multiple times. Ronald allegedly stated Richard got what he deserved for being out there during the altercation. He also stated someone was paying him to stay in the house, but he felt frustrated and trapped. He couldn't come outside. His sister would intervene and tell Ronald to watch how he was talking on a recorded jail call, in which later it would be determined she was absolutely right. As the case started making it to trial, multiple BPD officers took the stand, claiming that even though Ronald declined to ask certain questions during his interview, it was evidence placing him at the scene at the time of the hit, including the green coat from the City Watch footage, in which Ronald allegedly had on the same coat during his interview. Multiple witnesses from the neighborhood, the jail calls to his sister, but the most hurtful thing the state had was multiple family members testified against Ronald, alleging he was the shooter because he told them what happened. His lawyers will argue all the evidence against his client was circumstantial, and Ronald's own family was trying to set him up to be convicted because they testified against him. But the state wasn't hearing none of that. In the last effort attempt, his attorney argued it was another suspect BPD never even talked to, and that no matter who did the shooting, the footage showed it was spurred at a moment and not premeditated. But prosecutors were convinced the jury, who eventually found Ronald guilty of first-degree murder and handgun charges. He was sentenced to life plus 15 years in prison. Rest in peace to Richard. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to the family. I don't know what the initial dispute was about or what got it to the point Ronald allegedly upped the blick. That just goes to show you how fast things can go left in certain situations. More of this story, you got to check yourself in these streets. If you have a chance to walk away with your life or as a free man, do that. It doesn't make you a sucker to me. That's what makes you a man, being solid enough to stay out the way. It's either that or let COs control you for the rest of your life. Your time, telling you when to eat, telling you when to sleep, even shower. I guess to some people, that's worth it. But hey, that's the Baltimore way. Man, crazy story, you feel me? Rest in peace to Richard. Like I said, I send my prayers and condolences to his family. I mean, according to the case, they saying the two ain't even know each other. I don't know if he did do that. I don't know what made Richard walk up to him and try to smack the blick out his hand. I mean, of course, everybody know that ain't the right thing to do. Somebody got to burn out. You try to get away from the situation. You know what I mean? If you can't de-escalate the situation, just bop off, go about your business. You feel me? Especially if it ain't your beef. But in this case, I guess that Ronald felt disrespected by some people in the area. It got heated to the point he felt like, I guess his life was in danger. He upped the blick. And unfortunately, him and Richard had that run-in and it turned fatal, man. But y'all already know, man. Leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.